There's a Greek word in the New Testament that many of the apostles use to describe a particular relationship that we have to other people. And that word is oikos. And no, I'm not talking about the yogurt brand. A direct translation from Greek to English will tell you that oikos literally means family or household. But really, the word oikos encompasses people beyond the typical family unit. It is inclusive of the 8 to 15 people in what we'll call the front row of your life. In other words, it's your inner circle. These people that God has supernaturally and strategically placed in your life to love, to influence, to share Jesus with. These people are your friends, your family, your coworkers, your classmates, your neighbors, and more. And get this, from all the believers in every culture, in every denomination, 95% of people who have placed their faith in Jesus did so because of someone who shared the gospel with them from their primary circle of influence, their oikos. Friends, there is a purpose to loving your circle. There's a purpose to loving your circle. When I was in high school, I found myself on occasion in some compromising situations. And almost every time it was a direct result of who I found myself hanging out with. The run-in I had with the cops on my friend's back porch was because I had attended a party where people were drinking underage. The time that I was grounded for 2 weeks for shooting fireworks off in the middle of the night was because the guy whose house that I was sleeping over at thought that it would be funny. That one time that I watched that really inappropriate movie was a result of peer pressure from 4 other guys who were sleeping over with me that night. See, bad friends often lead to bad decisions. Bad friends are often additionally poor influences. Bad friends tend to show a lack of concern for you. They tend to show a propensity to gossip, an inclination to be unkind or rude. You know, Jim Rohn is often attributed with this quote. He'll say, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." Friends, could it be that who we surround ourselves with, who our oikos is actually paramount to who we become? I mean, if that's the case, then shouldn't we be going after good friends? Could good friends be a key in helping us unlock who we were meant to become? I think so. You know, the Bible talks often about what a good friend looks like. Check this out, Colossians 3, verse 12. "They treat you well. Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, and long-suffering." Galatians 6:2. "They help you through hard times, bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." James 5:16 talks about friends who pray for you. It says, "Confess your trespasses to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed." How about in Hebrews chapter 3, they point you to Christ by exhorting one another daily, encouraging one another daily. Good friends forgive you when you mess up. Colossians 3, verse 13, it says, "Bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ has forgiven you, you must also forgive them." What a beautiful vision for what true friendship is, right? What we have to understand is that friendship is a two-way street. Not only should we be looking for these type of people in our friendships, but we should also be becoming these types of people as well. Are we modeling Christ-like love? Are we good listeners? Do we forgive? Are we generous, or do we always expect something in return? You know, it's not lost on me that perhaps some of you listening to this carry some wounding from past friendships. Maybe you found yourself trying so hard to be a good friend. You've forgiven often and always. You've always bought them a gift for the holidays. You've always remembered their birthday, and you've never flaked on plans. For some reason, they've never reciprocated. And if that's your story, if you find yourself in pain because of a broken relationship, then I just want to say that I am so sorry. But can I just encourage you? Would you be willing to work up the courage to try again? To put yourself out there? To be a friend by befriending someone else? You know, the best friendships are the mutual ones, where both friends are constantly looking out for the other's well-being. And see, we at Northview Students, we long for our communities to be filled with these types of friendships. I love how Jesus frames friendship in John chapter 15, starting in verse 12. Jesus says this, he says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends." Verse 14, he says, "You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the name of the Father, he will give you." And he closes by saying this is my command, love one another. Love each other. See, not only is Jesus telling us how to be a good friend, but he's letting us in on the fact that we have a friend in Jesus. And friends, this isn't just a cute Sunday school song. This is gospel truth. Jesus laid down his life for us, exemplifying the ultimate act of sacrificial, suffering love, of what it means to be a friend. He came not to be served, but to serve. And he expects us to do the same in our friendships. See, friendships are a gift, but they're hard work. They're hard work, and the tendency is to take the easy route, right? To buy into the ideology of our current culture, which is that of expressive individualism. This expressive individualism that says, I'll just go about living my life, living my truth, doing me. I don't need anyone else. But friends, when we close ourselves off from loving relationships, eventually we lose all accountability. We lose the ability to know whether our life is one of love, of joy, of peace, or if our actions and decisions are actually causing more harm than good. Look at how Solomon says it in Proverbs chapter 27. He says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." See, what Solomon is saying, he's saying, hey, it's better to be rebuked or corrected by a friend than to be given a compliment from an enemy. Another way I'd say it is this: it's better to have a friend call you out and bring you back to the way of Jesus than to be loved or cheered on or accepted for engaging in the ways of this world. See, to become people of character and integrity, we need people who are walking the walk alongside of us, calling us to something bigger than ourselves. Past the intensity of accountability is just the sheer gift of companionship. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, starting in verse 9, says this. It says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken." See, not only are true friends there for us, they make us better people. We can laugh with them. We can cry with them. Real friends show up. They're there for us when we're down, when we're at our lowest point, and when we're in desperate need of help. Now, I'm aware that quality in a friend is rare and hard to find nowadays. But my friends, can I just encourage you, the struggle is so worth it. It's worth risking. It's worth putting yourself out there. It's worth the pain of potentially being hurt or betrayed or abandoned, because eventually you'll stumble into a relationship with, as scripture says, a friend who sticks closer than a brother. See, there's a gift, a joy, a life that we receive when true friendship is formed. Last week, Caleb talked about how vital it is to build and form a consistent friendship with God. My friends, this is imperative because healthy friendships flow from healthy discipleship. When we abide in the vine that is Jesus, the fruit that we produce heightens the quality of our relationships with others. And I think this is why Jesus commands us to love God first and then to love our neighbor as ourselves. Why? Because when we are apprenticing under Jesus, when we've surrendered all that we have to him, we grow in this ability to extend agape or sacrificial love towards our oikos, towards our community. And as imperfect people in relationship with imperfect people, it can be messy, it can be hard, and it can be difficult. But we worship and serve a perfect God. And when we follow him and obey his teachings, it enhances our relationships in such a way that we begin experiencing more and more heaven on earth. See, the reality is many of you watching are probably followers of Jesus because someone in your oikos, your family, your circle of influence shared the love of Christ with you. Aren't you grateful for their courage and their kindness? Now, think back to how many people are still in need of life-transforming love in Jesus. I mean, my friends, what if God has actually positioned you to be a catalyst in someone else's life? There is purpose to loving your circle. There's purpose to loving your circle. There is a divine reason why God chose the people he did to place in your life. We are trusted not only to love these people well, but to share Christ's love with them. You know what I find so amazing about God is that he knew it wasn't good for us to be in isolation, to be alone. And so he, in his kindness and in his mercy, he gifted us with friendship. He gifted us with oikos. Not only did he gift us with our oikos, but he also entrusted us with them. See, we were created to be in community with others and to do life together. We were not created to be alone. And so if you find yourself today wondering where that friend is, can I just encourage you? Pray. Pray and ask God to bring you that friend. A friend that honors him and loves him first, but also a friend who is capable of loving you and their other friends well. Or perhaps you find yourself loving your friends, but you're still wanting something more. You're wanting a stronger bond, a deeper relationship. Can I just encourage you to pray? Pray and ask the God of gods, the King of kings, the Lord of lords to give you what you desire. My friends, it starts with us. See, sometimes all it takes to have a good friendship is to first be a good friend to others. See, in this way, our actions actually inspire those around us to do the same. What would it look like for us to be a people, a community who had friendships that prayed together, that was there for one another, even when it was inconvenient? Friendships that include loving one another. There's purpose in it. So let us love our oikos. Let us be people of love. Grace and peace.